entire panel to come up on stage. I would like to invite Roger Neja, Director of Corporate Engagement and Philanthropy at Nanak Foods. A big round of applause for Roger Neja. Navi Nanan, she is a student at SFU and a student of life. Almas Meherli, Communications Advisor, Metro Vancouver Transit Police. Tasleem Somji, co-founder and managing partner of Milode Co. Paral Bakshi, public relations professional. Cindy Kela, an entrepreneur and a CEO of South Asian Fashion Week in Vancouver. Fami Kaur, she is a Canadian designer living in Delhi. A big round of applause for Fami Kaur. Next we have Dr. Shalini Chandar, aesthetic physician who lived in Canada and is now in Delhi. Kamal Dillon, the author and writer of the Black and Blue Sari. And last we have Shobhana Mahadevan, VP of External Relationships at Simon Fraser University. A big round of applause for all these ladies. They've traveled long hours to be here with us this morning. A beautiful looking panel. A big round of applause. So color coordinated.
A very red panel. Show us your pants, Manu.
Well, with that, I would like to invite our first speaker, no pressure. I would like to invite Roger Neja to set the stage up for the entire panel today. Please welcome the Director of Corporate Engagement, Philanthropy, and one of the biggest food houses in Canada, Nanak Foods. Warm welcome to Roger Neja.
Hi. I'm not going to really talk about business today. I'm going to talk about my personal journey. 26 years ago, I flew across the world. I landed in New Delhi with a suitcase full of baby clothes and a power of attorney from my husband in one hand, the suitcase in the other, of course. And I landed in New Delhi. I was a 29-year-old woman, born and brought up in Canada. India was a very foreign country to me, and I came to adopt a child. So I basically ended up in, I don't know very much about India. I was a tourist whenever I came, and I didn't know anything about the bureaucracy. So it was working against all odds. I was on a mission to find my little baby. I visited many hospitals throughout Delhi, large and small, left my name with them. There was no cell phone, so I had a landline. And I finally got a call, but it took 3 weeks to get a call to get an abandoned child. You'd think that you would get it sooner, but no, I had to wait that long. I got the call, and it was for a baby boy. And that was a little bit of a shock to me because my suitcase was full of pink clothing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know if I want a baby boy. I came for a girl, but let me go see this little one. So I go there. He is a fragile little child. He's 1.8 kgs. His fingers are like toothpicks, but I just fell in love with this little one. That's love at first sight for me. It wasn't with my husband, it was with my little baby. And that happened to me twice because 4 years later I went and got my baby girl. So my son is 26, my daughter is 22. He's a lawyer, she's an artist, she's a singer. They're very happy, we're very happy. It's all been great. So even though my business is successful, my biggest success in my life is getting my children. I'm very proud of the journey that I went through. I actually wrote a book. It's going to be published on November 9th, which is World Adoption Day. And I hope that you guys look out for it, because today I'm revealing the name of the magazine, my book, which is You Can Always Get What You Want. You can always get what you want. Thank you.
Amazing. She is one of the most inspiring women I have come across. She's a mentor to me and just a beautiful human being. What she's done for her family and adopted these two miraculous, beautiful children and given them the life that they deserve. So thank you. A big round of applause for Rajaneja. This is the first time she's sharing a story in an audience. So thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you, Raj. Next, I would like to invite young professional to be a student of SFU and a student at life, I believe. She is so outgoing, just so beautiful. Navinanan, please come up on stage. So much silence.
So the world is gathered here under one roof today. Wow. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Navneet Kaur. It is such a privilege to be sharing this space with you, with all of you young change makers, all of you change makers who have gone through tremendous things in your lives and are here opening up and sharing about them. This platform is made for women because this organization believes that every woman has a story that's worth telling. So I applaud you, Dr. Aurora, for recognizing the value in the creation of this space and for maintaining and expanding it over the past 15 years. I grew up in a small island near Alaska on the coast of northern British Columbia. My home is called Prince Rupert. Like many first-generation Canadians, I had extremely hardworking parents. It took a village to raise me, and my grandparents played a huge role in that. Throughout my childhood, although I still feel like a child today, I was the only South Asian girl in my classes at school and at my dance studio. When I started experiencing racism, I realized what a challenge it can be just to live in this brown skin. But I love to learn and I love to dance, so that wasn't going to stop me from showing up. I experienced a lot of bullying and developed some self-esteem issues that I really struggled with. I remember often wishing that I had an older sister who I could look up to, someone that could support me as I navigated my way through life. Because I wasn't always comfortable discussing these issues with my parents. However, a huge light of recognition deserves to be shown on my father. Before I was born, I'm certain that he had no idea how to raise a daughter, but he caught on to the hang of things very quickly. Thank you, Dad, for teaching me that women's empowerment is not just done from woman to woman. If there was anyone that was empowering me at home, it was my dad. He has taken hundreds of hours off of work, packed up our little car, and driven me thousands of kilometers onto every journey that my heart has ever needed to take. I remember every display of overwhelming patience and grace that he showed me, because he was always my first and biggest fan in everything I did and all that I continue to do. After graduating high school, I decided to step out of my comfort zone and compete in the Miss British Columbia pageant. I was a crown title holder and went on to become National Canadian Miss British Columbia, and I was blessed to receive the chance to compete at Miss Canada. I finished in the top 5. My purpose in pageantry has always been to have a platform where I can discuss issues that are close to my heart. So with each one of my titles, I chose to work with young girls that were struggling in high school and elementary school in the same way that I had. In 2016, the German embassy selected me to attend the International Forum of the European Youth Parliament. They had appointed me with a seat on the Committee for International Women's Rights and allowed me to continue with the journey in this incredible work that I deeply love doing. After moving to the city of Vancouver for university, I began to actively seek strong female friendships that were rooted in true sisterhood. And to my surprise, I found so many incredible women. This is when I realized that if you believe that the universe is working in your favor instead of against it, you'll really start to see it happen. Today, I am the youngest member on the National Board of Directors for the World Sikh Organization, and I'm surrounded by incredible mentors that are age 2, age 14, some are aged over 70, and everyone else is somewhere in between. This is because I believe that I have something to learn from everyone. So if there's anything that I leave you with today, let it be my encouragement for you to push your personal boundaries and find beauty in the journey of everyone around you. Because I promise you that everyone has a powerful story to tell. They're just waiting for you to ask. With that, I'll keep it short and wrap my story there. Please remember that there's a community of women in Canada that are waiting to welcome you, so please come visit us when you can. Thank you so very much. This has been an absolute honor.
Thank you, Navi. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and your beautiful work that you're doing in Canada. Now I would like to welcome Almas Meherli to come up on stage. She is the communication advisor at Metro Vancouver Transit Police. A big round of applause for Almas.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am really nervous. I don't even know what I'm going to say right now, honestly. I have this big speech prepared, but I don't even know. Okay. I'm going to start. Thank you for my...
She's my girl.
I am surrounded by such amazing
These people
women.
are the most loving people I have ever met. So open your heart to them and they will listen to you.
I am surrounded by such amazing women right now that I feel so humbled to be here standing on this platform with all of you. I am working with the Metro Vancouver Transit Police right now, but that's not what I've always done. I started in India as a journalist with the Free Press Journal, which is a small local newspaper in Mumbai. And from there, I went on to work with the Press Trust of India, the Economic Times, and then I moved to Vancouver. In Vancouver, I was working with the Vancouver Sun, and I've been a journalist for almost 15 years before I changed my career. In this journey, I have seen life at its best and in its rawest forms. From happy Bollywood weddings to floods, epidemics, people suffering. I know people in my field who have covered wars, but as a woman in journalism, I think I would like to tell everyone here, because the moment you say journalist, the first impression you have is, oh, all those people with mics who come and plague you. Can you tell us, what do you think about this? Can you tell us what you think about that? We are insensitive, inconsiderate, we are interfering, and honestly, we are there just to note everything as it's happening, because we are the recorders of history. And it's not just about celebrity journalism, it's about recording things as they happen. For me, it's always been about words, words that tell stories, stories of people, people who go through hard times, people who've made a difference, people who've achieved so much in life that they're inspirations. And as a communicator, my job is always to bring out that one spark which can make a difference in people's lives. Thank you.
Thank you. You shared so little but so beautiful. Thank you, Almas. She is one of the powerhouses in Vancouver, and I can see why she's so overwhelmed, because she hasn't been back home and spoken at a platform. And I'm telling you, the love is overwhelming in this room. So she's been affected by that love. So thank you, Almas. Next, I would like to bring upon another powerhouse from Toronto, Tasleem Somji. If you can please come up on stage.
Thank you, Manu. Thank you, Women's Economic Forum, Dr. Harbeen, Manu especially, for bringing me here today. This is a really special opportunity for me. This is the first time I've ever spoken on a platform like this, so it means a lot to me to share this with you. I wrote some notes, but I was told to speak from my heart, so I'm going to try and do that. You know, I first would like to say that amongst this amazing panel of Canadian women, I am the only person representing the East Coast, and that's really important
Yeah,
to recognize.
East Coast.
So Toronto, yes. I've never been very comfortable with labels. I've worn many different hats in my career, I think as women, as we all do. I started working in production. Actually, I started working in crisis communications and public relations, and then I moved into production. And then I started working in festivals and operational management, large-scale events, and then moved into museums. And now I'm kind of working as an advisor and a consultant in the arts in general. And I think every time I've taken on a new role, it's been because I've learned something new about myself, or I've rediscovered or discovered for the first time a passion that I didn't know existed. So I don't look at it as reinventing myself, but continuing on this journey of self-discovery and finding, you know, what your purpose is and what your passions are. And I think at the very core, what I have learned about myself is that I am a storyteller. That is what I'm passionate about, is our stories, not just my story, but all of your stories. And over the last few days, I've been so incredibly moved by all of you here who have had the courage to come up on stage and share your journeys. It's been incredible. It's been so moving to me, and I think that you guys have all inspired me in more ways than I could ever inspire you standing up here today. But I wanted to tell a little story since I am an art student. There's an old saying that, and we kind of talked about storytelling earlier, but that every bird has a song. But it's often debated as to why the bird sings. Is it because it's the bird's duty? Is it because the bird is happy? Is it because the bird just simply has a song to sing? And I think it's the latter. I think that we all have a song to sing. I think we all have a story to share. I think that most importantly, we all have a voice. It's taken me almost 40 years, I would say, to find mine. I think I'm still finding it. And I'm hoping that it will continue to grow and get louder, and that I will be able to join in on your songs and you'll be able to join in on mine. And I think to Dr. Harbeen, to your point, I think this is how we reclaim humanity with gender equality. It's by sharing each other's stories. It's by sharing each other's songs. It's by giving each other a platform to sing. It's by giving each other, singing for each other when one doesn't have a chance to sing. I think that that's the most important tool we have as women, is our voice. I think that when we feel like we are that bird, but we are stuck in a cage, we have to remember that we are still the bird and not the cage. And so we need to continue to sing and know that somebody will hear us and somebody will join us. So.
Thank you for that beautiful story.
Thank you
I'm
for
now
having
trying to think, really, why do birds sing? Wow, that's really beautiful. Thank you, Tasleem.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for your inspiring story. Next, I would like to call upon Parul Bakshi. She's in public relations for business and celebrities in Canada. A warm welcome to Parul.
Hi everyone. Firstly, thank you, Dr. Harbeen Arora, wherever she is. There. Hi, thank you. Women Economic Forum, and Manu Sandhu, who has been amazing in my life because she gave me my very first client. And at that time, I really did not know what I was doing. It's been 5 years since. So I think my career has been a passion, and I've created it into a business. So I create images which lead to perceptions. Perceptions, I feel, are very important because image and
why we are standing here. I have done so many bridal shows, everything I've done, but today I'm feeling so blessed because every person is talking about themselves. It's not that we are inspiring each other. You know, we all do so many jobs at home, but women do thankless job every day, 24 hours a day, but nobody recognizes that. But today I'm feeling we are blessed to be together, and we should be doing many more for this, right? And when my son passed away, my mother passed away in India, and I was in India when I got this news. You know, I went into a shell, but then I thought that my daughter is there, I have to see everyone. So we all are, you know, women, we have so much strong willpower inside, it's just we have to take it out. And I'm really blessed to be here. I'm thankful to Manu and Harveer, everybody. And I have a showroom studio in Delhi, but I didn't go to any institute, but I went to slums to bring out people who don't get work. So I brought to my studios, I learned from them, and each and every family is my family. People working with me. 30, 40 families are working with me, and they are my family. I don't go to any mandir, any masjid. They are my families. Whatever I do with them. So I have learned a lot from them, and today I'm standing here because they are doing work for us, and I recognize always. And the first cup of my tea in the office, I share with them. So
Thank you.
it's so nice to be here.
Thank you.
You very much, everyone, and love to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for being with us. What an inspiring story. I mean, she didn't go to a school where she could learn fashion, but she went into families that were actually producing fashion, and that's where she's become an expert on every region you can think of. So a big round of applause for Pami. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Shalini Chandar. She's an aesthetic physician. She lived with us in Vancouver for a little over a year, or close to a year, and we absolutely had an incredible time with her and her husband, who was the Council General in Vancouver at that time. So warm welcome to you, Shalini. A big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Manu. Thank you, Dr. Harbeen Arora, for inviting me over. I do not represent Canada, but Canada is deep inside my heart, so I'm dressed up in the Canadian color. So, yes. I've been listening to all these beautiful inspirational stories for the last couple of days, and believe me, it's like I'm drenched in that. I do not know what I can talk to you and inspire you, but I just feel empowered being here. So if dedication and focus is inspirational, probably that's where I come from. I'm dedicated, focused in the sense that I need to give you a little bit of a background of my life. My husband, like she mentioned, is the ambassador of India to Switzerland. So we are currently residing in Switzerland. And so that's the background I have, because 25 years we have been shifting. I've lived in some 9 countries in 25 years. So it's like a constant move, and it's constant transition, which, believe me, is fun at the moment. I mean, initially it's super excited. We are in a new country, in a new place, new culture. But it takes a lot of your effort to kind of adjust to new countries and new cultures. It's not easy to put it in 3 minutes. I'm respecting the timeline. So so that is what I think the basis of my story is, going from one place to another, always trying to do what I want to and I wish to. And I've always tried to do, like, I'm from a medicine field, so I've always tried to find some work related to my field. But it's strange that, you know, life has its own way, so it keeps you throwing in different directions and keep giving you something which I think you need. You do not understand at that time, but eventually it starts making sense. So my husband is the ambassador, so technically I'm the first lady of India in Switzerland, and you can imagine my comfort zone. The comfort zone is really humongous. But you know, that comfort zone started becoming a little bit uncomfortable for me, because I felt very stagnated, because there was no growth in my personality where I was sitting in that comfort zone. So I was like kind of unresting. I'm just feeling, what can I do more? I was doing all the work that I think a diplomat's wife is expected to do, and I was enjoying it, yes, doing a lot of charity work, a lot of helping around, a lot of other things. However, there was no ownership. There was nothing that I felt that, yes, I would want to pursue that. With all this thing, to cut it really short, I started doing a meditation and started realizing myself, and I started realizing that's called self-love. Wow. And I mean, that was a big word for me. I was always wanting to find what self-love is, and now I discovered it right there. Also taught me, so I came across an NGO here, which is a blind orphanage, and really, I mean, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. It got so close to my heart. They taught me compassion, they taught me attitude of gratitude, and that's the best thing. And I'm just cutting it short. So I just want to also thank Dr. Harbeen Arora. He has actually gathered us all here, and we are learning sisterhood. We are learning positive attributes of life. In fact, everything that is positive in life that we should be doing and practicing, we're learning here. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope you enjoy and we empower each other. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shalini. I must say, I'm so honored that now you've kind of taken that control back in your life and said, no, now I'm going to find what makes you happy, you know. So a big round of applause for Dr. Shalini Chandar. Next, I would like to invite Kamal Dillon to come up on stage. She's an author and a writer of a very, very powerful book called The Black and Blue Sari, and I would like her to share her story in a few minutes.
Thank you, Manu. Thank you for bringing us together here. Who'd think that I'd be back to the land that began my life of abuse? And here I am, going back, a healed woman. As I was looking around the room, I wanted to really address the young people sitting in the back. Because abuse just doesn't happen to married women or young, vulnerable men. Abuse happens to everybody. And so as you go into universities, move on to another country, I want you to know red flags. I don't want another Kamal here. I want empowered women. I want women to know their rights. I want men to know their rights. And one thing, if I may say to you very respectfully, is women support women. Don't be women's worst enemy. Because I've had many gossip and put me down. And that's no different than having an abuser in your life. As we kind of come to a close, I want you to dream again, to dream big, because our dreams have been boxed. If I can go around the world speaking on the abuse and torture that I suffered, even with an artificial face, you can too. Don't let your abuse, your scars define you. You are unique. You are an individual. If someone says no, you do it. I'm one of those women, when I go for an MRI or CT scan, and the doctors say, don't open your eyes, I open my eyes. Because I want to know why they said don't. As a mother of 4, grandmother of almost 5, I am blessed every day that I wake up and still have my family. Because from the age of 18, I never knew if today was my last day. And here I am as a single mom, got 3 kids married, so 4 grandkids give birth, come to life. And I am a voice for those without one. And I promise, I've never actually attended something like this. This is my first time. But the women, the men that I've met have encouraged me so much in the last few days. And I'm going home with a different perception. India is not a country where we're only abused. India is a country of growth. I've seen many men and women respect each other. And I ask you to continue to be role models for our next generation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kamal. I'm so happy you're able to travel all the way from Canada to India, and it's changed your perspective after 17 years. Thank you for being with us. Next, I would like to invite our last speaker, Ms. Shobana Madhavan. She is the AVP of External Relations at Simon Fraser University. A warm welcome to you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Manu. I want to start off by conveying my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Harbin Arora, Mr. Rai, everyone at WEF, and of course our fantastic MCs. A round of applause for them, please. My name is Shobna, and I've been thinking about what could I say that you don't already know. I think this is a very enlightened audience and such a fantastic panel up here. And like yesterday during the legal panel, the moderator said, you can ask any question on any topic to Dr. Arora, and she'll come across as an expert, even if it's law. So I was thinking, oh boy, no pressure at all. What can I talk about? And then I had this somewhat brilliant idea. I'll talk about the theme of disruption. Because when I look back at life, I'm 51 years old. When I look back at life, so it's 5 decades, not too bad. I have another 50 to go, but I'm sort of halfway through, right? So I thought I'll just look back and reflect on life, and what I realized was that the one theme that sort of comes in and out of the last 5 decades of my existence is actually disruption. And what has actually helped me to turn out to be a very positive, grateful human being who tries really hard to be decent at all times is that I've embraced disruption. So quickly to tell you a story, I was born in Malaysia in 1967, and my dad, who was my superhero, was waiting outside, and this South Asian nurse ran up to her with tears rolling down her cheeks. And my dad asked her in the Malay language, what's up? Like, what's going on? Why are you crying? And she says to him, sir, I don't know how to say this. He's like, boy or girl? And she said, it's a girl. He says, wow, fantastic. We have a name already chosen. She's going to be called Shobana. Then she starts crying even more. And he's like, what's going on here? And the nurse says to my dad, she has no legs. So my dad's like, what? She has no legs? So he's conceptualizing a baby who he's already called Shobana in his mind with no legs. Legs means legs. So he's like totally devastated for a moment. And he says, okay, thank you, you go on. Then the surgeon comes out and he walks up to the surgeon and says, so my child has no legs. He's like, what? Your child has legs. She's born club-footed. Her feet are deformed. So he's like, oh, okay, that's it. So my dad was a very cool man. Like nothing really, affected him too much. Even the fact that his daughter was born club-footed, he's like, that's it. So long and short of it, he got a surgeon in Malaysia to do all the research possible and say, fix my daughter's legs so that she can walk and she can run. So this doctor basically told my mom, who hated going to the hospital, to show up with me at the Emerge every morning at 10 o'clock. They would pretend I had fractured feet, turn it straight, put plaster of Paris, and send me home. And my feet turned out to be pretty okay. They're not the prettiest, but hey, I think they're awesome. And throughout my life, I've embraced that idea that things don't always come out the way you like it, but it's what you really do with it. Fast forward, at 51, single mom, lost my dad, raising two wonderful young men who are 21 and 19. Throughout my life, whether it's career or my personal life, every time there was adversity, there was disruption. But embracing it and falling in love with it got me to a much better place than I was before. So I welcome all of you to fall in love with disruption, fall in love with club feet, fall in love with things don't go the way you want them to, because unless you actually embrace someone, you wouldn't feel the love. Thank you.
Wow, amazing, Shobana. I think we're all looking at your feet now. I'm sorry. That is a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing your personal story with us this morning. With that, I will bring upon Dr. Harbeen Arora to come up on stage. And also, if I can have Kamal and Shobanaji join us to present us with the awards, would be wonderful. I would like to call upon Roger and Asia to come and receive her award for Exceptional Woman of Excellence. A big round of applause for Roger and Asia. Next, I would like to call upon Navi Nanan. She's a student at SFU, young and dynamic, exceptional woman of excellence. I'd now like to call upon Almas Meherli, Women of the Decade in Media and Leadership. A big round of applause for Almas. If I can call upon Tasleem Somji. Exceptional Woman of Excellence. A big round of applause for Tasleem. Next, I would like to call upon Parul Bakshi, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Now I'd like to call upon Cindy Kayla, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Next, I would like to call upon Pami Kaur, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Now I'd like to call upon Dr. Shalini Chander. A big round of applause for Shalini Chander, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. If I can call all the ladies to come up on stage for a group photo. All the ladies for a group photo. Ladies, come up. I'm coming. Thank you, Canada. Thank you for taking us on that beautiful journey through each one of you. And thank you for coming all the way. That was